What is up, YouTube? It is Matt back with another crypto video, and today's video is on DigiByte. First article I have for you out of the crypto recorder. DigiByte and centralized authentication is dead. Time for DigiByte to shine. Second article, also out of the crypto recorder. DigiByte is the best version of Bitcoin and could revolutionize money. And while I typically like to cite different sources in my videos, this author has written two very good articles about DigiByte the past couple days. So that's why I'm going to be covering today. So again, if you enjoy this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications, like it, share it, leave a comment, and let's get right to it. So centralized authentication is dead. Time for DigiByte to shine. This week, Facebook has been all over the news after a security breach that compromised over 50 million accounts. While Facebook has since taken control of the situation, this hack has exposed the vulnerability of centralized authentication systems. That's because Facebook is an extremely wealthy tech company, both in money and human capital. They have also invested heavily in security systems. In essence, the fact that they can be breached at such a large scale spells doom for the entire internet ecosystem. It means that no websites are safe, especially the smaller ones that don't have the security capabilities of Facebook or any of the other top-tier tech companies. In short, the whole idea of centralized data storage and security authentication is dead. The solution lies in decentralized systems that do not have a single point of failure. The Facebook hack is a turning point, one that will mark the transition towards decentralized systems. The beauty of decentralized systems is that there is no single server to attack. And I know speaking on how decentralized DigiByte really is, it's spread across over 200,000 different servers, nodes, cell phones, computers, and that's how large or how decentralized DigiByte is. So especially when it comes to authentication, and that's where DigiByte comes in. With things like DigiID, it is very possible to access online services without ever running the risk of hackers gaining access to your login credentials. That's because you simply scan a QR code, which then allows you to log into a website using your DigiByte wallet. In this whole process, no personal information is sent and your wallet information stays private. It is practically impossible for anyone to pretend to be you and access whatever websites you log into. What's most interesting about the DigiID is free, and any website that requires users to create accounts can integrate it into their systems. Now that it is clear to all that centralized authentication is no longer secure, not that it ever really was, more websites will have to turn to decentralized systems, and DigiByte has a realistic chance of gaining an adoption. So far, no other blockchain protocol has this functionality nor matches the security capabilities of DigiByte blockchain. That's because the DigiByte blockchain is secured by 5 mining algorithms, and a lot of the top currencies, Bitcoin included, only have one mining algorithm, and this makes DigiByte unbreakable. The strength is a huge head start in a multi-billion-dollar cybersecurity market that is now in crisis, even as hackers become more bold and sophisticated. It's a perfect opportunity for DigiByte, and with a little market awareness campaign from the DigiByte community, DigiByte could easily take over the global cybersecurity market. DigiByte has an opportunity to get into social media, banking, merchant websites, and all other websites where authentication is required. This gives DigiByte a massive leeway for growth going into 2019 and beyond. Once it gains traction in this market, DigiByte stands to make the top 10 in the crypto market. That's because once it gains traction in this market, its use case will also expand into other markets as well, including the Internet of Things market, which is expected to be worth trillions of dollars in the next decade and will require top security for autonomous systems that are too critical to have any security vulnerabilities. And really, it's just going to take one major player to implement DigiByte security technology for it to explode across various different sectors. If Facebook were to actually implement DigiID, and Facebook being one of the largest, if not the largest social media network in the world, if they were to implement it, then other social medias would implement this technology in an effort to stay competitive with Facebook. And really, it would just take one major partnership or one major implementation of DigiID for it to kind of be the spark that ignites the explosion of DigiByte. So from an investor standpoint, DigiByte's security strengths make it a good hold, especially now that current systems appear to be crumbling. Its need in the market is growing and will reward long-term investors in the coming years. So switching to this second article here, DigiByte is the best version of Bitcoin and could revolutionize money. And I know DigiByte gets a lot of hype and attention around its ability as a cybersecurity. And I think it's kind of underappreciated on how useful it is as a currency as well. So I'm glad this author kind of pointed that out. So when Bitcoin first hit the scene, it was meant to be a peer-to-peer money. However, over the years, it has pivoted more towards becoming a digital store of value. As a currency, it is no longer efficient because it is slow and has higher transaction costs. It cannot compete effectively against fiat or most other new crypto projects in the market. And really the most important part here is that it cannot compete effectively against fiat. So if fiat currency is the thing we use now and it is working, why would we switch to a system that's less efficient than what we already have? So that's why projects like DigiByte and other cryptocurrencies that are more efficient than fiat stand chance to gain adoption in replacing fiat. However, the ideals of Bitcoin are still important. As a matter of fact, the idea of peer-to-peer money transfer in a decentralized and trustless environment is still very strong. Most cryptos that may outcompete Bitcoin in terms of efficiency have an element of centralization to them, and XRP comes to mind. Yes, it is decentralized, but when you compare it to DigiByte, it is certainly vastly more centralized. And not saying XRP won't be successful. I think it definitely has a place in the future and will succeed, but that's neither here nor there for the subject of this video. And that pretty much defeats the whole purpose of their existence. One crypto that maintains the ideals of Bitcoin while still maintaining its efficiency as a currency is DigiByte. DigiByte's core features make it the best version of Bitcoin available. First, as a network that is as secure as Bitcoin, and as a matter of fact, it is more secure than Bitcoin. That's because it's secured by 5 mining algorithms that make it unbreakable. On top of that, DigiByte is fast for sending value over the internet. Its transaction speeds pretty much rival those of centralized systems. It competes effectively in terms of cost as well, and these features make DigiByte the best version of Bitcoin out there. And really they do compete with speeds of the centralized systems, and it's decentralized, and that's what gives it an edge in the future, is the fact that it's decentralized as opposed to being centralized. I know like Stellar Lumens is supposed to be extremely fast, but I've read that they're looking to implement the Lightning Network toward the end of this year, which the Lightning Network would make it even more centralized than it already is, which kind of, again, defeats the whole purpose of cryptocurrency being decentralized and not tied to any one entity. So that's why DigiByte, because it's scalable on-chain, and scalability is another issue that cryptocurrencies have, and they look to implement the Lightning Network to kind of resolve these issues, but they make themselves centralized in the process. So DigiByte being scalable on-chain makes it, or helps it maintain its decentralization, and that's again why it's going to have an edge in the future. So, but why is the best version of Bitcoin necessary in the market? Well, it all goes back to the whole reason why Bitcoin came up in the first place. Bitcoin rose as a way to give ordinary people control over their money. That's after many people lost their money through the collapse of banks during the 2008 financial crisis. In the future, an even worse crisis could come up, one that may be worse than the 2008 meltdown. And that's the collapse of fiat currency as a whole. After years of heavy borrowing, most countries now have debts that are way above the capacities of their GDP to repay without strain. And I know the United States is guilty of that as well. And we got to be close to $22 trillion in debt at this point. So traditional monetary and fiscal policies that have worked well in the past are no longer working efficiently. The situation in Argentina, where the currency has lost a significant portion of its value in the last couple months, is a prime example of this. It's an indicator that the next crisis will be a currency one. Many countries are likely to be hit with hyperinflation, and the need for a truly effective peer-to-peer currency that cannot be censored will emerge. DigiByte. So that's where a crypto like DigiByte comes into the picture. It not only meets the requirements of a currency, but it can't be censored. This means that anyone, anywhere in the world can use it to make fund transfers from a failing economy without having to worry about someone preventing them from transacting or accessing their accounts. This could usher in the real crypto age with DigiByte at the forefront. Its usage has already been rising in countries with shaky economies, such as Venezuela, and as awareness about it grows, so will its adoption. The best part is that DigiByte's awareness team is doing its best to create awareness about the crypto. They recently created the DigiByte.org website by pushing for an exchange listings and general awareness in the market. As the dynamics of the global economy lean more towards a future driven by decentralized currencies, DigiByte is well positioned to lead the way. It could take the world by surprise and change money as we know it today, making investors wealthy beyond their wildest dreams. And I know this last line here is kind of hyping it up beyond a point that I would feel comfortable doing. I think certainly it'll be worth more than the 2-cent range that it is now, but I also do not think it'll ever be worth thousands of dollars like we're seeing with Bitcoin. I certainly think it'll be worth more than it is now, though. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. It's simply for educational purposes. If you are interested in these topics, please do your own research before making any investment, and only invest expendable income. So that will wrap up today's video. Again, if you guys enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button, like it, share it, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later.